Okay, I hope this is working. Hi YouTube cuties. I wanted to do sort of an addendum based both on a request and on some thoughts I had last night on the first time video vlog that I did for you guys, your first time to Disney World vlog. I realize that I waffle a lot when I make my videos. I speak indefinites and then I say maybe a lot, or I say that's not going to happen to you, or I give you alternatives to what could happen. And the reason that I do that is because definites come out of my mouth and then my brain is going, what if that doesn't happen to them? Then they're going to be all mad at you. And there is nothing definite at Disney World, and that's the best advice that I can give any of you for any sort of packing, for any sort of trip planning, for any sort of anything. Expect the unexpected. No two trips are ever the same, and what I tell you, the tips that I give you, the tricks that I give you, they're time tested for my family, but the experiences that I give you, the things that I tell you you might have happen to you, the things that I tell you, you know, interactions that I've had with other guests, people that you should expect in the parks, you may never encounter them, or you may encounter them and your reaction to them will be completely different than mine. I've told you about, you know, rude people in line, and you may never encounter them. I've told you, you know, how to deal with other rude guests, you may never encounter them. I've told you that some of the cast members might pick on you, they may never. They may be nothing but nice to you and you know, never ever interact with you and play with you in that way. I've told you to wait on, expect long lines, you may breeze through the long lines. There is nothing definite at Disney World because you are interacting with thousands and thousands and thousands of strange friends. And every trip is different. I've never had a trip be the same. And that's part of the reason why I think I myself, my family, and the thousands of other people that go all the time, because the structure may be the same, the parks may be the same, the rides may be the same, but the experiences are never the same twice. It's not like, everybody always says to me, why do you go to Disney World so much? Because it's never the same. Because every trip, with my kids getting bigger with every trip, you know, it's all totally different every single time. So when I make these vlogs for you, I tell you, you should definitely do this. You should definitely make dining reservations. You should definitely get a park hopper pass. But you don't have to. So it's kind of hard for me to tell you definites, and that's why I waffle. That's why I don't want you to think that my way is the only way. And you should definitely do your own homework. That's why I send you off to places like allears.net or the Disboards, or even to the Disney World website itself. Do your own homework. I'm not an authority by any stretch. I'm a fan. I'm somebody that loves Disney World and all that it holds in it. And I've been enough to have some knowledge that I can share with you, but I am by no means an authority at Disney World. There are some things, there are people out there that will put me to shame, that make me look like a total noob, a total rookie, like I've never been, like I'm standing still in the parks. So do your homework and figure out what works best for your own families. That's the best advice that I can give you, is go expecting the unexpected and do your homework and know your family. I told you have to go back to the room for naps. You may not need to go back to the room for naps. Your family may be able to go at it commando. You may be able to just go. I don't know. But my holy trinity definitely holds true. Patience, kindness, sense of humor. Those three things are definite, absolute must. They don't change, they don't waver. Those are the things you have to pack internally to have a good time. That I know. And comfy shoes. That I also know. I know you must pack comfy shoes to have a good time. So the second part of this vlog is, one of you had asked me to tell you about my first trip to Disney World, since we're doing first Disney World trips. And my first Disney World trip was 1978, and I was 5 years old. And this is one of the only pictures that I can find of us in Disney World. Oop, that didn't work. Where did it go? Of us in Disney World in 1978. That's me. Can you guys see this? That's me. That's my little sister, and that's my grandmother, who is now 96 years old. I don't remember a whole lot about the trip since I was 5, but I remember I got that little sailor's hat you see on me. That's another picture. But the little hat that I was wearing, I remember getting, and I remember thinking I was so cool for wearing it. It was a little sailor's hat, and it had all the lands on it, and it had a picture, and it had Mickey and whatever. I remember going to... I remember 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That was like my favorite ride, and it's not there anymore, so I can't really... And I was 5, and it was the last time that I was on it, because it took me between ages 5 and age 17 to get back to Disney World. Because my parents hated it. Epcot didn't exist. Animal Kingdom didn't exist. MGM didn't exist. The monorail didn't exist. The only way, was the monorail there? I don't remember if the monorail existed. It might have. But I remember riding the ferry boat over from Ticket and Transportation Center. We went with my mother, my father, my sister, and my grandfather, who had just moved down to Florida and were living there, and that's why we all went. And I remember we went for a weekend, and we went in August. Why August? I have no idea. But there were no other parks to spread people out to, so everybody only had to go to the Magic Kingdom. And I remember Pirates. I remember being scared to death of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. I remember, like, my memories are very fuzzy. I don't remember the castle. I don't remember any of that stuff. I remember the little orange bird that they brought back from Sunshine Tree Terrace. You'll see him. He's a little bird. Looks like he's an orange. I remember him, and I still have my water bottle, or I still have my bottle from him. I remember being enamored with the place. I remember thinking, this is amazing. This is unlike anything ever anywhere. And my mother hated it. She felt it was fake. She felt it was false. She felt it was too friendly. Oh my gosh, the people were smiling all the time, and she didn't want that anymore. It was hot because it was August, and I just remember really getting the magic bug. But then, because my parents hated it, I could never get anybody to go back with me for that, until I was 17 years old, and I went with my best friend and her mom, who took me along on a business trip that they were going to Orlando for. So we spent quite a few days down in Disney World, and I had a blast. And then as soon as I got my first job and I was able to go back again, I started taking myself down there every 6 months. And then I met my husband, and I took him down for a Christmas, and then we kept going, and then he asked me to marry him down there, and we honeymooned down there, and that's it. I mean, we've just been going down ever since. So, my first trip was very different than your first trip will be, because I only had Magic Kingdom. There was no other parks to go to. I remember being hot, I remember being crowded, but I remember it being incredibly magical. So that was my first trip down there. So yeah, just going back, nothing I say is in gold, in stone. Nothing I say is gold. Everything that I tell you on here is a suggestion. And you should know your family, and that's it. Disjointed vlog for sure, but that's it. I just wanted to touch base with you guys. Peace out, my peeps.